Hey guys, Ryan here from Kids on Goku Tweet, and wow, Broly is finally here. It's taken what seems like forever, but in reality it's been about 18 months since the original order, and here we are. Let's get into this review. Right, I think with this review we're going to start off with the positives first, and the main positive, which it should be quite evident, is the sheer size of this thing. It is absolutely huge. Now remember, this is only a 1/6 scale. I say only. Now I just want to compare it to Mastered Ultra Instinct Goku, which is 1/4 scale. So that's Broly, and this is Mastered. Now I know Broly's a big character, but this is just ridiculous how big it is. So maybe they have got it spot on with the size. Maybe they've got it absolutely right. But yeah, just the sheer size of this thing is just ridiculous. The weight behind it as well is another thing. Getting this upstairs really made me regret putting it together downstairs, because it just weighs a ton. I'm not exaggerating there. It just, wow. To get it upstairs was a challenge. But, you know, the sculpt is also a positive, because looking at other resins that are on the market, and especially other Broly resins, there is definitely not one that's gone for this sort of extreme. Now it's obviously gone with the movie setting of the ice and snow and water, and exactly how the ice and snow would kind of curve around, which I think is a really brilliant way of showcasing this Broly, and it really makes the green and especially the purple on the legs really jump out. So I can't really fault them for that whatsoever. Right, the next positive I want to talk about is the actual detail that's been put into this design. From the way that we've got almost the veins and the imperfections in the skin, and also I want to mention this one, the actual face itself. Now the face itself actually went through a lot of changes, and to be fair to Shogun Studios, they've listened to fans, myself included, because the first face was an absolute disaster. I'll include it in so you can see, because it was almost like a really creepy kind of smile. The hair, you know, contrary to some people, there is some shading, there's some toning in there, which really makes it bounce, and definitely, especially when the light hits it, you can see how much detail and how much work has been put into the hair. So yeah, good positive. The face, the attention to detail in the skin, and of course the attention to detail in Bar's ear and the legs of Broly. The next positive thing I want to talk about is nothing to do with the actual figure itself. It's actually a positive shout out to Shogun Studios, the guys who actually designed and made these things. You've seen earlier on in this video how this Broly was actually shipped. Now it did take a long time for shipping, but I'll discuss that a bit later on in this video. But the way it actually came in was absolutely fantastic. All of this that you can see is pretty much individual pieces. They pop out Majority use magnets, some don't. But all of these pieces here were individually wrapped and had their own individual compartments. And considering this has got to come all the way from China to the UK, yeah, I think they did a really good job. So thumbs up for Shogun Studios in terms of that. The last thing of positivity I want to talk about with this Broly resin is the actual Broly piece itself. Now, unlike other resins, this piece is pretty much all one piece. The only things that detach off this is the hands and wrists on either side. Now his left arm, this one, which comes with the energy ball, does have a spare piece, which is this, which again matches the skin tone. But I just think without the energy ball, you've got all these energy effects that come off the ball, which are a bit wasted. I suppose you could scatter them around this design and it'll still look pretty cool. But the fact that it's all one piece, and the fact that it again weighs an absolute ton, I think that's probably the best way they could have done it. At the very back there, you can see Broly's trailing leg. That is attached almost onto almost like a solid block, which fits into the base, which then gives Broly the support that he needs. Because like I said, the actual Broly figure here weighs a ton, and so does the base, so they kind of counteract each other out, and they've got the balance in just right. It's solid, it doesn't move, and it's perfect for what this particular statue needs. So I'm glad that, for example, that the torso and the legs aren't separate. I'm glad that the bar's ear isn't separate. I'm glad that it's all one piece bar the wrists and hands. So yeah, another well done to Shogun Studios. We've had a number of positives about this figure. There are many more that I could go into detail about. I did want to just highlight quickly some of the shading, which definitely comes up when you've got a light on it. But let's have a look at the not so positive. Let's have a look at a couple of negatives that this one has. Right, so first up I want to talk about this energy ball. Now the energy ball itself follows the same sort of scheme as the rest of the figure, colour wise, especially with the green energy effects, and also the sheer weight of it as well. It is a solid resin ball here, which for size comparison pretty much fills my hand. The only downside I've got with this one is that it should light up. It has got LEDs in there somewhere, but yeah, it hasn't lit up. I've used the adapter that was provided without any success. I have got in contact with Shogun Studios, so hopefully we can get something of a replacement. They have been brilliant throughout this. I did email them last night and they just said send photos of the particular items that aren't working or are broken, and I'll try and get it sorted. So I've sent that email. I haven't yet received a reply, but it's only been, what was it, less than 12 hours. The other thing about this energy ball effect is that it is supposed to be a hand and wrist as well, but as you can see inside, there isn't actually a hand in there. So I know what they're trying to do with it, but I think it would have looked much better if it had a hand in there, because even though it is just an out and out energy effect, I still think they would get a better effect if there was a hand in there rather than just coming from Broly's stump. The next negative I want to talk about is the couple of breakages. Now I've been quite lucky in the fact that I've only had a couple, so I've only had 2 breakages with this one. One of those being one of the electricity effects and the other being part of the snow. Now the first one is this electricity effect down here. Now this one is actually part of that top piece there, as you can see, and as you can also see is how small and how thin, how narrow that top bit actually is. But if I'm looking on the positive side, at least these things can kind of sit anywhere and it still kind of looks like it should be there, like that for example, because the way that the scenery is kind of set out and the way that it's all kind of flowing in, it doesn't look too out of place, but it's still a bit of a nitpick, especially that one, because that one just looks tiny now. I could attempt to glue it, but it might be more hassle than what it's worth, and to be honest, from this view at least, it looks fine. It's only when you look above and you see that there's a tiny little electricity piece there. The other breakage I had was part of the snow, which is down here. Now I have attempted to glue that one, and at the moment it has remained in place. It was a tricky one because, again, it's a heavy piece, and trying to get them to stay together and then to stay at an angle, it's a little bit tricky. But again, it's another piece that I've sent a photo to Shogun Studios about, so hopefully we can get that piece done, because it includes all of this right the way up there. So it's one big piece. Right then, the last negative thing I want to focus on is, now I know it was mentioned in a positive, but I want to talk about the paint job. Now there's definitely some positives with the paint job. I really like the hair. I really like Bar's ear. It's definitely got some shading in there, and it's even got pieces of snow in there, which is an extra bit of detail. And also the trousers, the pants of Broly, have been coloured in really, really well. This seems to be a popular opinion on this Broly figure, and it's the actual skin tone. It's a really weird sort of grey, peachy kind of colour. It's just not right. It doesn't seem quite natural. Now I've got a couple of new Broly figures just to compare it with. Now the contrast on these is going to be huge, and it is, especially with this Broly. Now again, another popular figure, but I just think that they've definitely got the vibrancy of the skin tone better on this one. The vibrancy is taken down on this one, but I definitely think, again, that this one's definitely got more of a natural skin tone than this guy. So try and get the three of them in shot there, and then you can really see just how pale and just how grey and I suppose ashy it is. Again, I don't want to take anything away from the finer details in here, you know, all the scratches and the scar especially, but I just think, yeah, we could have had that one. We could have had a little bit better, especially to almost complement the hair as well. Another paint job issue is actually on the ears themselves. I'll try and get a decent shot, but yeah, just how the hair is almost being coloured on top of the ears. Yeah, it's a bit odd, a little bit lazy in that regards. But putting it into perspective, they're making 1,000 of these. This is number 93. It's proven down there. And yeah, I suppose to get that consistency on a regular basis, yeah, we're only human after all. But still, to me, it could have been done better. Right, so overall, how do I judge this Broly? It's absolutely incredible. It's huge. It weighs a ton. It was packaged extremely well. Some of the finer details are very, very good. And on the flip side to that, yes, we've got a couple of breakage issues. Hopefully that can be sorted with Shogun. Yes, the energy ball effect doesn't work, unfortunately. And of course we have the skin tone issue. Now there's a number of positives and there's a number of negatives. There's always going to be that. especially when, you know, so much money is put into one of these. And yeah, I suppose waiting over 18 months, it can kind of cloud your judgment sometimes. That's why I've had to think overnight, and I didn't post it straight away. I actually received this particular resin yesterday. So in terms of an overall sort of judgment on this thing, I love it personally. Yes, it's got its flaws, but as of right now, I think this is the best new Broly resin out there, minus the skin issues, minus that not working. But yeah, looking at the others, I'm really happy that I've invested in this piece, and I'm glad I'm able to display it as I am. And I think an overall score, I would give it a 7 out of 10. A solid 7 out of 10, close to an 8, but I'm gonna go 7. So 7 out of 10 for Shogun Studios Broly Resin. Thank you. Right guys, thank you for joining me today with this Shogun Studios Broly Full Power review. I do have the figure class Mastered Ultra Instinct Resin 2. If you would like me to review that one, then like this video, comment below, and let's see if I can do it for you. In the meantime, you take care.